took to increase the food production.
The decision of the government to provide subsidies to farm inputs, including fertilizers, to citizens and farmers has been a catalyst for farmers to produce more.
The fertilizers provided as a subsidy to the whole country have also been provided to the Southern Highlands. We are grateful to President Samia for this plan. This is a sustainable program. Furthermore, the government commits to facilitate major improvements to the John Mwakangale Memorial Grounds, which will continue to be used for the 99 exhibitions in the Southern Highlands.
The contractor is working hard on this project. Let me assure the Region Commission that after 99 exhibitions are over, the contractor will begin to improve on the Nane Mwakangale grounds. We are grateful to President Samia for providing funds to the people of the Southern Highlands that will be used to construct the Mwakangale grounds.
The Municipal Council of Ilemela in the Mwanza region has spent local revenue of more than 13.7 billion shillings to implement development projects, including roads, schools, and health care. Here's a report prepared by James Larombo and read by Faithan Gaga.
Infrastructure improvements, including roads, schools, and clinics, are one of the areas that the Ilemela Municipal Council is proud of for the past financial year. Ilemela Municipal Council Director Umi Wayayu says the improvements have been made to the local revenue of more than 13.70 billion shillings. For the previous financial year, our council has collected 13.698 billion Tanzanian shillings. The Member of Parliament for Ilemela, Angelina Mabula, says President Samia Suluhu Hassan is at the forefront to solve the problems of the people of Ilemela. Let me declare that I am a councillor of every ward. So when I want to work on development plans, I can go to any ward. I am also a Member of Parliament.
On Parliament bylaws, has expressed its satisfaction following major improvements being made by the DP World Company at the Port of Dar es Salaam by reducing the total days of handling cargo shipments from 30 days to 7 days. Emmanuel Samuel was there and has prepared the following report.
Speaking during the committee's visit to inspect the implementation of the Parliament's bylaws in various areas of the dry ports owned by the private companies and areas invested by the government, the chairman of the committee, Johnson Rikiza, says the action will attract more investors and clients in the port of Dar es Salaam.
We visited the ports, including the dry ports and the port here, the port itself. We saw many things of which we are very happy indeed. For example, here where we are, we observed, we noticed, we heard from the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer of the DP World. They have just taken over a few months, but they've done a lot. On the arrival, ships would wait for a month or above in the sea to be able to enter the port. Now they are waiting for less than 7 days. As a matter of fact, some ships come straight without waiting into the port, which is a tremendous, I don't know how to call it. It's a very big achievement.
The company representative in Tanzania says they have been working closely with the Port Authority and the Tanzania Shipping Agency, TASAC.
And I would like to thank TASAC and TPA for their support over the last 2 to 3 months as we've gone through this handover process. There's been a lot of learning from our side and a lot of process improvements that hopefully that you will see. And our focus has been around, I guess, 3 key points. One was obviously to bring down the waiting time through improved productivity, but also a real enhanced focus on safety and security.
Some of the members of the committee urged the company to provide more opportunities for Tanzanians.
What I advise them is to continue working very hard, employing many Tanzanians instead of them employing other people from other countries, so that at the end of the day, we don't continue to depend for the foreigners.
At the port of Dar es Salaam, and here is where the DP World has invested a lot of energy to make sure that the port of Dar es Salaam serves a lot of ships that are coming outside of the country. Reporting from Dar es Salaam, Emmanuel Samuel, TBC News.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel Samuel, for that report. The Zanzibar Economic Empowerment Agency has signed a partnership agreement with the Tanzania Commercial Bank, the TCB, to facilitate the provision of interest-free loans to special groups of youth, women, and people with disabilities in Zanzibar. Witnessing the signing of the documents in Dar es Salaam, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of State, President Office, Labour, Economic Affairs and Investment in Zanzibar says that 2 billion shillings have already been collected for the project, instructing the bank to ensure that the loans are issued after thorough scrutiny, so as the groups receiving them pay back so that other groups can also benefit. On the other hand, the Executive Director of the Zanzibar Economic Empowerment Agency says initially the agency will provide the TCB Bank with 1.8 billion shillings.
Fedha kutoka kwa halmashauri ndivyo tutakavyozipeleka.
We will submit 1.8 billion on Monday, and we will provide a loan from 1 million to 30 million. We are going to provide loans to various groups of women, young people, and people with disabilities. 40% will be allocated to women, while 40% is for young people, and 20% will be allocated to the people with disabilities.
Mfumo wetu utamruhusu Zea kuona kila kitu.
Our system will enable Zea to observe everything because we have installed a digital system.
Of the Minister of Health, Dr. John Jingo, says the Minister of Health continues to build the capacity of the experts of the ministry by providing them with appropriate trainings and skills, as well as continuing to improve the infrastructure and means of providing health services. The Permanent Secretary made the remarks after receiving medical equipment from the World Health Organization, WHO, aiming to improve healthcare services to fight epidemics and non-communicable diseases.
I really appreciate your support, your continuous support in making sure that as the government, as the country, we continue to provide quality health services in our country. And I mentioned some of the areas which have been working together since historically, and we continue to do that. One, to build capacity of our people, technical know-how, to make sure that our people keep pace with the developments which we have globally, on all areas. You have been a reliable partner in this, and we really thank you very much.
We want to appreciate the efforts of the government in controlling or trying to bring this outbreak under control. We know that the government has worked tirelessly, and thanks to the PS and his leadership in ensuring that all measures are put together so that we can prevent and treat and also prepare for the future.
Before we come to the end of the local news tonight, let's now take a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Don't miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Time now for all the latest in international news. And here is international news as compiled by Lulua Muhammad and read by Faithan Gaga.
3 Americans who were freed in a prisoner swap deal with Russia, including Wall Street Journal reporter Ivan Gershkovich, have arrived back on U.S. soil. Gershkovich was one of the 16 people swapped for 8 Russian prisoners in what has been described as the biggest exchange since the end of the Cold War between Russia and the West. The exchange at an airfield in Turkey also included the release of former U.S. Marine Paul Whelan and Russian-American journalist. President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris welcomed them upon arrival. President Biden says that he is grateful for the diplomatic cooperation for many other countries involved in the negotiations. Hundreds of mourners have attended funeral prayers at the state mosque in the Qatar capital, Doha, for the political leader of Hamas, Ismail Haniyeh. His coffin, covered by the Palestinian flag, has been taken to Lusail Cemetery for the funeral. Various countries, including Indonesia, Pakistan, and Malaysia, have held a prayer service for Ismail Haniyeh. Iran vows revenge after the assassination of the Hamas leader in the land of that country. More than 1,000 people have been arrested in the country of Venezuela, according to the government, after anti-government protests broke out after Sunday's election. President Maduro claimed victory for a third term, but the opposition have accused him of electoral fraud, and many governments around the world have refused to recognize the results unless he provides proof. Those who have been arrested are not allowed to have private lawyers, while the public lawyers are controlled by the government. President Maduro accuses the opposition of starting a coup. 7 out of 8 people who were being sought by police have been arrested after objects were hurled outside a hotel housing migrants during a protest in Aldershot. Hampshire police say a minority of 200 who protested outside the Porters International Hotel became involved in the disruption on Wednesday evening. The protest follows multiple pockets of unrest across the country after 3 girls were killed in the Merseyside town of Southport on Monday. A boy aged 17 appeared in court earlier, charged with 3 counts of murder.
That is international news as compiled by Lulu Muhammad and read by Faida Gaga. Sports News is up next. And in sports news, the Simba Sports Club head coach Fadlu David says he will use the international friendly against APR to test his squad before the Community Shield and Tanzania Premier League 2024 season. Head coach Davids adds that the players are ready for the match, hoping that they will showcase a quality performance.
Readiness, preparedness, we are still building. But we take this game as, yes, on the first point, it's part of our pre-season preparation, but it's also a game where we want to give the fans, something to enjoy. It's our introduction from the players, the technical team, and what we are about this season. So it's a game definitely we want to win, but looking at the bigger picture, zooming out, is still part of our preparation.
Simba Sports Club will host Rwanda champions APR to introduce the squad to the fans in Simba Day, ready for the upcoming Tanzania Premier League and CAF competition 2024-2025 season. And Twiga Stars and Brighton striker Aisha Masaka says she's ready to conquer English Women Premier League. Speaking to TBC News after receiving Best Female Player of the Year award, playing outside of the country, Masaka believes that she will display quality performance as previously.
Expect to go to challenge myself and to help my team to reach the goals. I can say that never give up and work hard and trust yourself.
Aisha Masaka has joined Young Africans Princes from Alliance Academy in 2021 and has spent 1 season before joining Swedish Women Premier League giant BK Häcken, where she also spent 2 years before joining Brighton. And that's the sports news. Now, before we conclude the news bulletin for tonight, let's take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Hello, and welcome again to the next 24 hours of forecast, starting tonight at 9 p.m. From Tanzania Meteorological Authority, my name is Ramadan Omari. For tonight, we're expecting dry condition to persist over most part of our country with cool temperature over some areas of our country, especially over southwestern highland. And the relative minimum temperature is expected to be 4 degrees Celsius in Beira region. And tomorrow, most part of our country are expected to persist with dry condition, and the light rain shower is expected over a few areas, especially in Tanga, together with Unguja and Pemba Isles. In terms of wind pattern, we're expecting wind to flow at 30 kilometers per hour over the entire coast and the major lakes in Lake Victoria, Tanganyika, and Lake Nyasa. And now, let's have a look on the next forecast over some regions of our country. In Dar es Salaam, minimum temperature is expected to be 18 degrees. In Dodoma, we're expecting minimum temperature to be 16 degrees Celsius. Mbeya region, we're expecting minimum temperature to be 4 degrees Celsius. In Mwanza region, we're expecting minimum temperature to be 16 degrees Celsius. Kilimanjaro region, we're expecting minimum temperature to be 16 degrees Celsius. And also in Morogoro, we're expecting minimum temperature to be 16 degrees Celsius. And in Arusha region, we're expecting minimum temperature to be 13 degrees Celsius. From Tanzania Meteorological Authority, that is all for today. Thank you for watching and goodbye.
And that marks the end of the news bulletin for tonight. Don't miss our next bulletin in the Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I am Nasa Kingo. We wish you a good night and a beautiful weekend.
Arusha ni aje. Karibu utangaze biashara yako katika maonesho ya 88 2024 na TBC, ukweli na uhakika.